I want to talk to you about the best emergency loans for bad credit. And so here is a rundown I want you to pay attention to. So when you think about the best emergency loans for bad credit, I want you to think about Upgrade. Upgrade is really a good solution for emergency loans for bad credit. You have actually a loan amount that goes from $1,000 to $50,000. And the APR is pretty decent too. You're looking at 8% all the way to 35%. So if you have bad credit, expect to have an APR north of 20%. And so Upgrade really remains our favorite overall emergency loan option for bad credit because it has competitive interest rates, offers fast funding, and is available to borrowers with bad credit, fair credit as well. It's also the best option for flexible repayment terms. You're looking at 84 months. That's 7 years. That really gives you a lot of time to actually recoup, like restructure your finances. And we also love the fact that Upgrade offers a wide range of loan amounts. You also have the option to apply with a co-borrower if your credit is not really sufficient to qualify by yourself. Because when we talk about bad credit, the minimum that Upgrade will actually take is $500. If you are below that, you might need a co-signer. And so that's really cool. And so we love the fact that if you are in a financial emergency, you will love what the Upgrade is offering you here. And Upgrade actually has been in business for nearly 10 years now. So that's really fantastic. And the company was founded in California, in San Francisco, but they have offices in Phoenix, Arizona, Atlanta, Georgia, Orange County, California, and Montreal, Quebec. Okay. So what are the pros and cons of Upgrade here? The pros first. You have funding within 1 business day, which is really good. If you are looking for an emergency loan for bad credit, funding within 1 business day is really fantastic. You have flexible repayment terms, and you have secured loans are available. What about some of the cons here? Well, you have an origination fee of nearly 10%, which is really huge anyway. You have a high maximum APR, and this lender also charges late fees. So in terms of qualification, they want you to have a FICO score that starts from 500 and goes all the way to 620. So that's actually the delta you have to be in. And you got to be at least 18 years of age, and you got to have a verifiable bank account. An email address, by the way. Next, you have Upstart. So Upstart, actually, you have a loan amount for $1,000 to $50,000. Upstart is a great emergency loan for bad credit. And the APR is kind of similar to what Upgrade is charging. So you have 8% to 36%. And so if your income has held you back from getting a personal loan, Upstart might be right for you. So there is no minimum credit score required to qualify. So that's really fantastic right off the bat. You either must have a credit score or have graduated from or are currently enrolled in a higher education program. So this makes Upstart the best choice for borrowers with poor credit. And another benefit of getting a loan through Upstart is that the lenders has competitive interest rate. You saw the rate. You saw the rates a little earlier. Those are really good. And so the maximum interest rate is on the higher end, though it's on par for bad credit loans. But its minimum credit score is lower than any other lender that we actually considered for this show. So Upstart charges a late fee of 5% of the payment or $15 rather, whichever is greater. So if your payment is not received by 15 days after the due date. And so this Upstart actually was founded about 12 years ago, is headquartered in San Mateo, California, and they have offices in Columbus, Ohio, and Austin, Texas. So that's really cool. What are the pros and cons of Upstart as an emergency loan for bad credit? The pros first: no minimum credit score, low minimum APR, and you also have funding the next business day, which is really great if you're looking for an emergency business loan. You want your cash as soon as possible. What about the cons here? Now, the origination fee can be as high as 12%. The minimum is 5%, but you can have it as high as 12%. You have a limited range of repayment terms, and they do charge you late fees. So this is something to think about. But overall, we love the fact that you got to have a verifiable name, date of birth, and social security number. You got to be at least 18 years of age, And you must meet the lender's credit and or education requirements to qualify. You must have a U.S. mailing address, a valid email address. You must have a verifiable source of income, and you got to have a U.S. bank account. For them to actually grant you the loan, you got to have a U.S. bank account. Next, you have a Ant Credit Union. So if you're looking for the best emergency loan for a bad credit, you might want to think about Ant Credit Union. And this institution is really good. I mean, it is a credit union, so you got to be a member to qualify for a loan in the first place. But the Ant is very, very generous. So you're looking at an APR range of 10 to 18%. A loan amount that goes from $1,000 to $100,000. Think about it, $100,000. And the repayment window is really flexible as well. You are looking at 36 months all the way to 84 months. So this is really fantastic. Now, the reason why we selected Ant Credit Union is because primarily it has a very rapid funding process. You could have your funds deposited to your account as soon as the same day you are approved, but it really offers a few other compelling features. Loan terms extend as far out as 84 months, which can help keep payments small, really, when you think about it. It really offers a wide range of loan amounts up to $100,000, although the $1,000 minimum won't help you if you need to cover a smaller emergency. And its minimum required credit score is among the lower ones in our database. As a credit union, though, you need to become a member of that credit union to get a loan. Of course, unfortunately, Ant doesn't offer a pre-qualification tool, so you will need to go through a formal application to see if you qualify and at what terms. So this is really cool. But what we love about the Ant Credit Union is that it was formed originally to serve the military, especially the Ant Air Force Base in Colorado Springs, Colorado. But nowadays they actually have expanded their membership requirement. Let's say the requirements, instruction, if you will, or eligibility requirements, so you can qualify too. So what are the pros and cons of Ant Credit Union? The pros first: you have same-day funding, low minimum credit score, and they do accept co-signers and co-borrowers. What about the cons? They have a higher advertised minimum APR, credit union membership required, and no pre-qualification. But overall, to join Ant Credit Union, you must actually either be geographically limited to Colorado, or you got to be a member of the American Consumers Council. So this is actually more easy. It's a lot easier for everybody to qualify. Next, you have Up Loans. So if you're looking for the best emergency loan for bad credit, Up Loans is pretty interesting. Up Loans is not really generous because they're giving you a maximum of $4,000. So the amounts go from $500 to $4,000. And but the APR is really crazy high. Okay, you are looking at 160% all the way to 179%. So that's really, really high. And you have loan terms that go from 9 months all the way to 18 months. So you can see that Up Loans is not really taking any chance on you. They're not risking anything because they don't know if you will be around the next day anyway. Okay, so Up Loans may be worth considering for borrowers with poor credit who may not be able to qualify for another personal loan. So unlike most lenders, Up Loans doesn't rely on your creditworthiness to make a lending decision. You also won't pay origination fees and can access your money the same day. However, this easily accessible loans come at a high cost. Up Loans has considerably higher interest rates than many other lenders. You will pay an APR of 160% for your 6 to 9 month loan. Additionally, repayment plans are significantly shorter. So this is something to really think about. So originally founded in 2012, Up Loans has offices in Chicago, Illinois, and Henderson, Nevada. So this is kind of important. What are the pros and cons of Up Loans here? The pros first: loan decision not based solely on credit score, no origination fees, same-day funding available, and no late payment fees. What about the cons here? You have very high interest rates, short repayment terms, and this loan is not available in all states. So that's something to be thinking about. In terms of qualifications for this loan, you got to be at least 18 years of age. You got to have a bank account. You got to have a verifiable source of income. You got to receive income through direct deposit for them to really see your income. This is really important for them. And this loan, as I said, is not available in all 50 states. So it's available in any state except Colorado, Connecticut, Georgia, Maryland, Massachusetts, Nevada, New Hampshire, New York, Pennsylvania, South Dakota, Vermont, and West Virginia. So if you are in those states, bad luck. I mean, this is unfortunate for you, but you can't really qualify for this loan here. Next, you have universal credit. So universal credit is pretty interesting because you have pretty generous loan amounts. So this is a great emergency loan for bad credit. The APR range goes from 12% to 36%. The loan amount goes from $1,000 to $50,000, and the loan terms, you are looking at 36 months all the way to 60 months. So this is really fantastic. Now, universal credit, like its parent Upgrade, offers personal loans backed by vehicles. So putting up collateral like a car can help you qualify for a loan that might be out of reach, or it can help you get a better rate on a loan you do qualify for. The risk is that if you can't pay back the loan, you could lose your car. And another positive is that universal credit offers a pre-qualification, so you can check on your eligibility without dinging your credit score. So this is kind of this is the give and take that you have to think about here. You can also apply with a co-borrower, and this lender has no minimum income requirements, both of which can make it easier for people with bad credit to qualify, at least in the short run. And universal credit is among the more expensive lenders in our database. It charges origination fees, and its advertised APR range tilts towards the higher end. So be sure to take advantage of the pre-qualification to compare with at least a couple more lenders, okay, before you make any decision. So what are the pros and cons here? The pros first. They do accept vehicles as collateral. They do offer pre-qualification. And you also have no minimum income requirements. What about the cons here? You do have steep origination fees. You have a high APR range. And you also have limited repayment terms. So this is something to really think about a lot when you think about universal credit. So putting up something you own as collateral for a secured personal loan can be a great way to get lower rates and increase your approval odds. But keep in mind, it's especially important to make the payments on time, because if you don't, your lender can take possession of your collateral, right? They will repo your car, for that matter. And so to qualify for a loan from Universal Credit, you need to be at least 18 years old and meet some other requirements. You got to have a credit score of 520 to 620, must have a valid bank account, and you must have a valid email address. Next, you have a First Tech Federal Credit Union, and this is another great emergency loan for bad credit. And we love the fact that with First Tech, you get loan amounts that go from $500 to $50,000, and they do accept credit scores as low as 560, from 560 to 660, and which is really in the bad to fair credit range. However, the credit union accepts both co-signers and co-borrowers, so people with truly bad credit may still be able to get a loan with First Tech if they borrow with someone else. And like other credit unions, APRs max at 18%, half of what many banks and other lenders offer. And loan terms extend up to 84 months, which can help keep monthly payments affordable when you really think about it. You can also defer your first payment for up to 45 days after your loan gets funded, and purchase payment protection coverage, which can really cover a payment if something unexpected happens and you can't pay it. Okay, so what are the pros and cons of this player here? This lender actually allows co-signers and co-borrowers flexible repayment terms. Pre-qualification is available. In terms of cons, minimum credit score may be too high for some borrowers, and you also have credit union membership required. So this is something to think about. In terms of qualification, you must be a member before you can obtain a loan from First Tech Credit Union, First Tech Federal Credit Union. And to qualify for a First Tech membership, you actually must work or live in Lane County, Oregon, have a family or household member who is already a member, work in the state of Oregon, or for an employer on the credit union's partner list, or belong to the Consumer History Museum or the Financial Fitness Association. So the last two conduits, the last two ways are the ways that a lot of people can qualify for it. So if you don't live in Oregon, and you can still be a member of a First Tech if you are able to be a member to secure a membership in those two nonprofits. So this is totally possible. Next, you have Patelco. So Patelco is really good also because you have a very generous credit union that gives you a best emergency loan for bad credit. You have a loan amount that goes from $300 to $100,000. Can you imagine that? $100,000. You have an APR range of 9% to 18%, and you have a loan term of 6 months to 84 months. Okay, so Patelco is our pick for the best credit union for bad credit emergency loans, and also has more loan flexibility than many other lenders. First, Patelco offers loans ranging from $300 to $100,000. This is a huge advantage because most lenders don't offer loans of less than $1,000 or more than $50,000. And Patelco also offers a flexible loan terms and competitive interest rates. So loan terms starts at just 6 months, which offers you access to the best interest rate. And you can also spread your loan out over as long as 7 years for loans of $30,000 or more, which help reduce your monthly payment. And Patelco charges a late fee of 3% of the late payment, or $5, whichever is more. Finally, Patelco really offers a variety of personal loan types that might really appeal to all kinds of borrowers, especially borrowers with poor credit like you, if you are in that category. So in addition to an unsecured personal loan, you can also choose from a secured credit builder loan, a secured savings loan, and other secured lending options. So this is really cool. And what we love about Patelco is that it's originally founded in 1936. They have 37 branches across Northern California. That there is a possibility for you to qualify for membership, even if you don't live, you're not present in California. What are the pros and cons of Patelco here? The pros first. You have flexible loan amounts and repayment terms. You have a low minimum APR. You have a lender that offers secured and unsecured loans. What about the cons? It's only available to credit union members, and they do charge late fees. And in terms of qualifications, you got to be a Patelco credit union member for at least 3 months to actually qualify for the loan. So what are the considerations here? It's important to understand that when we talk about the best emergency loans for bad credit, you have to understand that you have a lot of players, a lot of lenders. You have Upstart, you have Upgrade, you have End Credit Union, Up Loans, Universal Credit, and so on and so forth, right? But let's go back quickly to what an emergency loan really is. So an emergency loan is a personal loan that provides a borrower with a lump sum of money that can be used for almost any purpose. It doesn't matter, including emergencies like unexpected medical bills and urgent home repairs. And personal loans are now your only option in an emergency, by the way. And even if you have bad credit, you may need to consider other types of emergency loans like payday loans, pawn loans, or car title loans. Okay. And each of these options will cost significantly more than a traditional personal loan, yet may be an option if your credit is really, really poor. And why should you get an emergency loan when you have bad credit? Well, because you need the cash, right? But just make sure that you are able to use the loan to actually bring your score, your FICO score back up. So when we talk about using the money to bring your score back up, I'm talking about the best uses for an emergency loan indirectly. So you can use the cash for an emergency medical bill, a home repair or replacement of an appliance, car repairs, replacement for lost income to cover monthly bills, and funeral costs. And this is important now. How do you choose the best emergency loan? Well, you got to ask yourself a few questions. How much the emergency loan will cost, what repayment terms you can get on the loan, and how quickly you can apply and get funded. Okay, those are things you need to really think about. And so to apply for an emergency loan if you have bad credit, You always want to get pre-qualified, submit a complete application to see what you can qualify for, accept the terms and get funded, and also make a plan to repay the loan. You got to have a plan to repay the loan way before you apply for the loan in the first place. And you also got to think about how to build an emergency fund, because the last thing you want is to always have this vicious circle of always applying for emergency personal loans, really. So what are our closing arguments here? In today's conversation, I spoke to you about the best emergency loans for bad credit. I give you the rundown. Number 1, Upgrade. Number 2, Upstart. Number 3, End Credit Union. Number 4, Up Loans. Number 5, Universal Credit. Number 6, First Tech Federal Credit Union. Number 7, Patelco. And I give you the considerations and now the closing arguments. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.